Welcome to my YouTube video. In this video we are just going to look at a question from a 2025 past paper, functions, under functions. So the question reads, the functions f and g are defined by f of x is equals to x plus 3 over 2 and g of x is equals to 1 minus 2x. And they are asking us to say find f inverse of x, b find gf of x, c find gf of negative 7. How can we go about that? So let's try to do our solution. So the first thing that I want you guys to understand is that given a function of f of x to be equal to x plus 3 over 2, then you have been told to find the inverse of this function. The first step that you must do is replace where there is f of x with y, implying that replace where you see this with y. So it's gonna be y is equals to, then you write the rest of the things, x plus 3 over 2. Like, why are we, like, after you have done this, now what is the next step? The next step is strive so hard to make x the subject of the formula. So if you're making x the subject of the formula, how is it going to be? So I'm saying the first step is you write the function that they're asking after. In this case, they're using the function f to find its inverse. So we're writing f of x is equals to x plus 3 over 2. Then the next step is to replace where you see f of x with y. That's the first step always. So what do? So looking at how it is, I can balance this by introducing a 1 so that I can now cross multiply. Yes, so now how is it going to be? This is going to be y times 2. This is going to give you 2y is equals to 1 times everything there, that is x plus 3. So remember that the inverse is about making x the subject of the formula. So what is it that we're going to get after this? We're going to realize that this is going to be 2y. We're going to take positive 3 the other side. That's going to be minus 3. And this is going to be x. So like that, it means that we have managed to make x the subject of the formula. Then the third step is to make sure that where there is x, you put y, and where there is y, you put x. So this is going to be 2x, like where there is, let me use a different color so that so where there is y, I put x minus 3, and where there is x, I'm putting a y. Like, that's a step. Then afterwards, you even tell them to say therefore f inverse of x is equals to, meaning you're replacing that guy with that. So this is going to be 2x minus 3. And like that, it means that you have already finished and you have already solved the inverse of this function. Then the next question is asking us to find gf of x. So when they say gf of x, it's very important to know the functions that you're dealing with. You're dealing with the function of g. Let's write the function of g. That is the first letter that you see. In this case, you're saying g. Write it down first. That is g of x is equals to 1 minus 2x. So once you write that, what they're trying to tell you is that where you see x in g of x, in this function, where you see x, meaning where you see this, put f of x. That's what it means. In other words, let me use a different color. If they tell you to say g f of x, I love it when other people do this, to tell you to say in the function of g, where there is x, put everything this. So let's try to do this. So it means that if I do that, means that I've combined the two functions. Therefore, let me write my f of x to be x plus 3 over 2. And we are saying whenever I see x in the function above, I'm going to replace it with this, because this is what represents f of x. So meaning I'm going to put it right where there is x. So how is it going to be? Implying that when I say this is going to be g f of x, now let's combine them, is equals to, remember that we are using the function for g because it's the letter that starts This means that we're going to have 1 minus 2 open brackets. Where there is x, now we're putting x plus 3 over 2, like that in brackets. So now I want you to observe, is it possible that the number that's here and there can be cancelled? Yes. Remember that 2 can go into 2, also 2 can go into 2, which is 1. So what are you remaining with? You're remaining with gf of x to be equal to, that is 1 minus, we know that this is negative, that is 1 minus open brackets, that is x plus 3. Basically that's what we have remained with, implying that I can now open up these brackets because there is a minus, and each time you're opening up the brackets, make sure that you multiply whatever is in the brackets with what is right before the brackets. So what is right before the brackets, we know that is just basically a negative. So meaning gf of x is going to be equal to 1. Then what's right before the brackets is a negative, so it's going to be negative times x, that is negative x. Negative times positive 3, that is negative 3. So meaning gf of x is equals to, this gonna be negative x. When you group like terms, they are the numbers. When you say subtract, they're going to have negative x minus 2, like that. It means that you have solved and you have found your function called gf of x. For the remaining question, gf of negative 7, just know that, do you have the function gf? If you have the function gf, okay, let's see. Simply because we have got the function gf, we are going to say we already have the function of gf of x, and in this case we already know that it's negative x minus 2. So is it possible that we can find gf of what's that, was it negative 7? It's possible that we can find gf of negative 7. Well, that's very simple. It means that where you see x, just like that, if you align them properly, you can even tell, so where you see x, put negative 7. So meaning negative is the one there, then open brackets, where there is x, I'm putting a negative 7 minus 2, implying that what you get at the end of the day is negative times negative 7, you're going to get a positive 7 minus 2, and eventually after you do that, you're going to get 7 minus 2, that is a 5. And thereafter, make sure that you write your answers well here. For a, we know that a, the answer is f inverse of x. You write f inverse of x is equals to 2x minus 3. Whatever you do in that space for solving, make sure that you put your answer there, just your answer. Then the other one is gf of x is equals to negative x minus 2. Then finally we just say now gf of negative 7 is equals to 5. Like that, it means that you've written and all the 4 marks are yours, all the 4 marks. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe and like our YouTube video. In case you need more information, more questions, more solutions, and extra lessons, you can contact the number 0970 86 55 97. That's for math, physics, chemistry, biology. We already have teachers that can run you through that and step by step.